Join me right now on Kumite TV is well-known heavyweight Oli Thompson. What's going on, Oli?
All good. Good to see you.
Good, man. Of course, man. Now let's start off right away. Last January, you returned to the cage, Abu Dhabi Warriors 5. You took on the main event slot, Roman Webe. He came to brawl. You kept it technical, and you got the TKO finish in the second round. Take me through
Yeah.
that fight and the finish.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, just really happy to start the year busy. You know, getting a January fight always starts the year in a really good, positive way to be busy. Roman. I could figure him out quite easily what he was about. I knew what I was up against. I just kept it simple, and I was as much as he's not a big name, high caliber opponent on the big picture with respect. It was a good opportunity for me to go out there and just and show my discipline and concentration and not do anything too silly and just break him down with the basics. And it's one of you could probably watch the fight and think, oh, Oli could have done that and got him out of there fast, or could have done this. But I'm glad that wasn't how it played out. I was never in any danger. It was a nice fight. I used my jab, I used my leg kick, and I wasn't really planning on deviating off of that course until he makes me. Like in any fight, your opponent has to make you adapt. If he doesn't make you adapt, you just keep winning the way you're winning. And it was he took a lot of punishment in the end of that fight, and I didn't take any punishment. And yeah, all in all, I'm proud of my performance, regardless of whether the opponent is considered a world class or a local class. I'm just proud of how I went out there and how I approached the fight. If that makes sense.
Is Abu Dhabi Warriors the same promotion as UAE Warriors?
Yeah. I think they've just rebranded. Not really rebranded. They've just changed the name. And so it is UAE Warriors now. I'm not 100% sure of the ins and outs. I think it's maybe politically, and it broadens their horizon as far as the name out in the Middle East and the area. Obviously, it now encompasses the name encompasses a bigger area, I guess. It's a small thing, but yeah, it's the same company, yes.
Did that performance against Webe get you this title shot?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say the performance got me the title shot. Maybe, but the reality is if I would fight on Abu Dhabi Warriors, UAE Warriors, and I've got a good profile myself. If there's a title up for grabs, I'm going to put my name in the mix for it, 100%. I should be in the mix for it within reason, as long as I'm being successful. So, but yeah, the performance was good. It was clinical. Roman, as much as he's got wins and losses, he had a good winning record out in the Middle East, so he was respected amongst that crowd. And I put myself in that position, and if they're bringing me back, I want to. If there's always got to be some incentive for me to motivate me to fight, whether it's a great name or great money, and sometimes one incentive isn't quite as much as it could be. But if another incentive is there as well, it kind of balances the things out a bit. And this being a title fight just filled in some gaps for me as far as the incentives I want, because as much as I don't fight my main challenge isn't just bringing belts home, because you can win belts in MMA left, right, and centre without achieving anything. But at the same time, I do want to win a credible belt that isn't a UK based but international belt. If that makes sense. World titles are everywhere, aren't they? So I wanted to bring a belt home, and also a little long story short, when I won the IGF Openweight GP in 2015, I never got my belt. I never got to keep my belt. I had to give it back when I left the arena, and I'm still a bit sore about that. I understand, but I'm a bit sore about it. So I want to bring a belt home.
Yeah, definitely. That's a terrible situation. You win a belt and then you gotta give it back. I've heard this happen to many people when they go fight in a foreign country, and they don't really tell the fighter that you can't take the belt home.
Yeah. I know some promotions have you have to defend it twice to keep it permanently, but you should still have to take it home, really, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing as IGF haven't run an MMA fight since then, I guess I would never have brought it back. So, and it was quite expensive, apparently.
Definitely. Well, this all leads to, May 3rd, UAE Warriors, the main event. The heavyweight title is on the line. You're facing Tarek Suleiman. What are your thoughts on him?
Let me just intervene. Um, Actually, this is for the light heavyweight title.
Okay, light heavyweight. I'm sorry. Light
Yeah.
heavyweight title. What are your thoughts on him as an opponent? Because he is another name that is well known in the Middle East.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about him. I know he's a well thought of Middle Eastern grappler, if you like. I think he's maybe one of the first black belts in the area, maybe in his country. I'm not too sure because there isn't too many, But obviously in Abu Dhabi now, in the Emirates, there's a lot of black belts because it's a big thing in the education system, and a lot of Brazilians over there coaching, which is like kind of what relates to Palm Sports, who promote Abu Dhabi Warriors, UAE Warriors. So he's a well considered grappler. How do I say? He hasn't got a highlight reel record, if you like, but he's dangerous in the right areas. And to be honest, we negotiated through quite a few different opponents, and I don't think my record suggests I don't really duck and dive opponents. I take the opponent if the money's right and appropriate and the incentive is there. And we went through opponents, and we went through a lot of more high caliber opponents. To be honest, I said yes to. I don't know the reasoning behind fights happening and not happening, but at the end of the negotiation period, they really liked the idea of bringing Tarek Suleiman over there for this fight. And by this point, I've been training. I just wanted to get the opponent, and I said, yeah, that's fine. I don't say no based on the caliber of opponent. The caliber of opponent can excite me, can really motivate me. I don't know too much about Tarek. I know how he fights. I can see how he fights and what he does, and I'm happy and confident in my ability to take him out. But having said that, if they found an opponent that I was up against it and against all odds, I love being against all odds too. So it doesn't make too much of a difference really in that way. But I'm very motivated to take out someone who's got a reputation in the area I'm fighting him and extend my own reputation.
Training camp for this upcoming fight, how has your preparations been?
My preparation's been really good. Obviously the diet. Obviously I'm on the diet, which sucks. I'm greedy. I eat a lot. My mood is based on food a lot, and it's tricky. It's tricky. But I've cut down twice before. I don't like to. I'm not a light heavyweight. I'm a heavyweight openweight. This is just a fight at light heavyweight. This isn't what I'm not advertising myself at light heavyweight. So the diet makes it hard, but I've been very motivated and training a lot because when I'm on a diet, even if I wanted to rest at some point, I still have to train to burn some calories regardless. So you always got to be doing something. But also, as you go down from heavyweight, it opens up training partners. People that don't want to spar with their heavyweight or roll with their heavyweight. Suddenly you get, if you look at the sort of, maybe like obviously where I'm based in the UK, average sort of size, and different nations have a bit sort of smaller or bigger. But over here you can find a lot of guys in the gym who are maybe ranging from 85 to 95 kilos. But there isn't too many 110, 120. And the ones that are, only 1 in 20 of them are athletic in any way at all. So in heavyweight, it'd be very hard to find the appropriate. I've got very good, high quality sparring partners at low weights. Very tricky guys that will be choking you out and tangling you up, moving around, which is great, but it's not appropriate for the like for like sparring for the fight. So moving down, I can now pull in the guys that were pretending they couldn't see me on the mats at 90 kilos and say, "No, you're mine now. You're in my class now almost," and they haven't got any excuses. So yeah, that's the main positive is sparring partners and drilling partners. You can find a lot more of them that size because it's hard. We haven't got the busy gyms like the American gyms where there's 30 guys and 10 of them are heavyweights. Over here they're few and far between. So the guys I've got good black belts that I roll with that are in the 90 to 100 kilo class. I've always rolled with them, and now they're the right size for this fight. So it kind of gives that it mimics the fight a bit better.
With more sparring partners, have you had more fun during this training camp compared to previous camps?
I wouldn't say I've had more fun. Maybe the diet doesn't help the fun part, but the diet is harder when I'm just day to day going about my business. When I'm in the gym, there's a good vibe and we motivate ourselves and we get through it one way or another. Um, so I wouldn't say it was more fun, but I have enjoyed this camp. I mean, it's the last couple of weeks now, so we just trim off the last few kilos, and that it can be quite tricky. But no, I'm very disciplined in what I do. I keep to the scripts, and when as long as you play by the book, the weight will drop off. You know, it's a science to it. So I'm not suffering. I'm not in a bad way, and you know, certainly physically, I'm feeling and looking good for a 5-round fight.
Tarek, he normally fights at middleweight, so he's going up in weight, and you are coming down in weight, so which means you guys are just meeting in the middle. Do you see that playing a huge role in your favor in the fight?
It can play a role, but I think there's so many other things that play bigger roles. You know, there's so many things that isn't what's the win me this fight. There's a lot of other things that will win me this fight. That's just a bonus. I'm not a big believer in. I don't buy into the whole size in fighting as much as some people do. I know like a good big one beats a good small one, because if they're similar sort of levels, then that makes the issue. But I think a really good small guy beats a medium big guy, because I've sparred guys. The hardest guys to spar are not always the heavyweights. The hardest guys to spar sometimes, for example, when I'm sparring like boxers, pro boxers, good boxers, sometimes the worst guy to spar is like a light heavyweight cruiserweight, even when I'm a heavyweight, because he still packs the same power, but he uses movement and he comes in shape. And a lot of time, them guys are the heavyweights that are in shape. You know, a lot of the heavyweights that are basically cruiserweights or light heavyweights that aren't in shape. So you get a lot of mixture. But now back to your question. No, yeah, Tarek's come up in weight class. You know, I'm not even thinking about that, because at the end of the day, we're fighting at the 93 kilo limit. We both got to hit the 93 kilo limit. There's no excuses after the fight. I was smaller. I was bigger. You know, we both agree to fight at the weight limit. We both fight at it, and there's always someone bigger and someone smaller, and it's irrelevant. Whether you're injured, or you're bigger or smaller, you agree to fight at the weight, and you come in and you fight.
No matter what, this fight has many interesting dynamics to it. You know, the skill set you bring, and then the skill set that he brings. You know, how do you think it's going to play out, though? You know, do you envision any way that this fight works out for you?
You know what? It's just a matter of I'm experienced. I'm very experienced now, obviously, and using my discipline and believing in the process. You know, maybe in my early fights and that I was more anxious to get the result and to see the result, whilst I've kind of learned to just believe in the process, and as long as I'm winning the fight and doing the right things and hurting somebody, it's just to keep doing it. Don't rush. Don't always look for the wins or the pain in someone's face. Believe if I'm touching them or if I'm putting them on their back, it's working. Eventually, every man will break. Every man will break. So I'm just looking to fight a disciplined fight. How long this fight goes depends on how brave and how much he really believes in it. You know, he's going to come along and he's going to get his biggest name opponent yet. You know, a big, highest profile opponent. His first title fight on a decent show in the Middle East, and against a guy who's fought in big federations. So, you know, he's going to get paid probably his best money he's got paid, and he's going to go home and be able to tell everybody, you know, I fought for a title on a good show, and that should be enough for him. You know, but that's not enough for me.
Along with MMA, you've been dipping and dabbing in other combat sports. Late last year, you participated at Moss Fight in Macau. How was that experience?
Well, Moss Fight, it was fun. It was because it was kind of a new thing. We didn't know the rules really when we got there, and then after the rules meeting, we still didn't really know the rules. I don't think anyone really knew the rules.
That's what Mark Godbeer told me too. I just recently interviewed him, and he said that he thought the rules were this way, and then when he got there, the rules were not the way that he thought the rules were, and it kind of messed him up a little bit.
Yeah, the rules were sort of changing as we went there. When me and Mark started asking questions in the rules meeting, they didn't like our questions, and the rules started changing a little bit. We started talking about chokes and stuff like this, and and they didn't want to see any. They didn't want none of that. They didn't want any of that. So what started off as maybe like a shoot box almost rules ended up being really just almost like a long Muay Thai round, almost, if you like. It was fun. I enjoyed it, to be honest. My fight obviously was knockout only. You can only win with knockout, and I only had two weeks. I think 2 weeks to prepare for it. So I wasn't in like fine shape for 9 minutes, but the fight only stopped because I had a big cut on my forehead from an elbow. I wasn't hurt. I was fine. I was smiling, but I had like a minute left, and I couldn't see very well. So I knew like if I couldn't knock him out, so I couldn't see. I almost knock him out in a minute. There was no benefit in seeing the fight out and trying to get a point decision. In actual fact, now my opponent is apparently quite renowned as a Muay Thai fighter, which is interesting because aside from him landing 2 good elbows at the end of the fight, I found him pretty simple work, and with a proper fight camp, I'd happily take him on. But the truth is that I hadn't been as busy as I wanted to be in the year, and I wanted to have a fight and make some money for my Christmas, and that's what I did.
You do have another fight after UAE Warriors, BKB 17 on June 8th. You're taking on Josh Burns. How did that event all come together?
Well, I've spoken to the boss man at BKB a few times. He's been interested in getting me to fight a few times. But predominantly, I'm an MMA fighter because that's what you predominantly do, and also that's predominantly how I get paid. So we've talked about it and put it off a few times, and he's very cool. He's very cool. He understands that I'm gonna have to make the money. I have to do what's right for my career. So we've had a few delays. I was going to fight on BKB 16 at one point, but that changed. And he's just recently, after my Abu Dhabi fight, said, "Do you want to fight on BKB 17?" I said, "Yeah, I'm interested if it works out with the Abu Dhabi show." And it works out all right because it's 5 weeks, which is quite good. 5 weeks is like a nice period of time, if you like. Probably wouldn't work out the other way if BKB was first, because you get a lot of cuts and scratches in BKB. It might not work out to fight MMA afterwards. But fight MMA first against the grappler, the BKB works out okay afterwards. I hope it does. You know, it generally should do. So we finally managed to come to terms with the deal, and I just waited for an opponent. And I wasn't sure what the opponent would be like. Most of the heavyweights, there's a few tasty lightweight guys over there that former pros and stuff, but most of the heavyweights, there's a lot of brawlers in there. A few MMA fighters, and he come back with Josh Burns, and I sort of knew who he was a little bit from BKB, not from MMA. I'd seen Tony Johnson stopped him quite fast recently in a title fight there. I said, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, I'll stay in shape. I'm doing 5 fights in 3 weeks, so I've got to do 3 2s a few weeks afterwards, no problem at all. And I've boxed professionally before, and I don't anticipate any issues with that fight.
Yeah, it's great to see that you are staying busy this year. You know, it's already with the June fight. That's 3 this year, which is great. You know, you only had 2 fights last year, and you're gonna already have 3 by the middle of the year, which it leaves you a lot of room for many more fights, man. I hope you get a lot more. I want to go back to Road, because the last time we spoke, it was before Road FC 47. You know, you were entering the Openweight Grand Prix. You went to China. You defeated Chalong Deng in the first round of the Grand Prix. What is the deal with the Grand Prix? I thought you had a contract with Road FC.
Yeah, I do. It's a very frustrating situation because we've been waiting. At one point, we were told that the next round, the last 2 rounds would be on one night. So they would have a winner on one night in, I think, September, maybe October last year. Then there was some problem. It was put off, and I was waiting, and that's why I didn't fight so much because I really like fighting for Road, and I wanted to go out there. And the tournament's got a good incentive. I love the tournament. It's fun, good money. Everything was good, and it's kind of put everything else on hold, and it's been very frustrating and it's been very hard to get information. I want to say things in a positive way, because I'm very positive about Road. I like Road FC. I like the people there. The communication hasn't been great. I'm the first to admit that, and it's been frustrating. It should have been a lot better. But what's done is done. We've had some communication recently, and some issues that have been out of their control. So of why it's not happened yet. I felt a bit more positive with they did the 70 kilograms tournament. It's finished, or I don't know. Has it finished? It finished and then it hasn't finished. It finished.
No,
he's fighting again.
The finals or the final fight will happen this summer.
Yeah, so I guess that's the that's the big money one. So I was kind of hoping, well, the prize money for our one's a lot smaller than that one. So I was kind of hoping that ours would be easy, but it hasn't happened yet. But I have been told from Road FC directly. I sent them emails because I'm a pest. I'll keep messaging and emailing. I don't go away easily, because I'm interested. I want to do it. I'm excited about it, and they're hoping to get the tournament going again. Obviously, me, Chris Barnett, Ori Gele, and Gilbert Evell, the 4 guys left. I'd imagine them guys are frustrated. Them guys aren't very busy. Them guys, I don't know if them. I think Chris fights still, but I think the other guys, I don't know if they always fight for a living or what they do. So maybe it's not so frustrating for them. Maybe they're just entering the tournament just as an opportunity. But for me, it's a living, so I have to try and get it done as soon as possible. I'm sure everyone's frustrated. I know Chris was waiting for the call up, and we're hoping it still happens. I've also been promised that if it doesn't happen, I'll still get my fights, my contract fights out in road, and I hope that happens sooner rather than later because, like I said, I've been looking forward to it. I've been excited about it for quite a while now. It'd be a bit of an anticlimax and a shame, especially the first fight. Obviously, the long story short about I had the Russia fight, it got cancelled. I've been cutting weight, and I was thrown in with Jalon Deng, who I didn't really know anything about. And it's generally, I was happy to go out there and win my first fight. It wasn't a satisfying performance. Didn't really do a lot for me fight wise. It was a strange one, I didn't really know anything about him. I just went out there and just ground it out and just got the job done. Sometimes you have to. But yeah, I'm just really excited to go out to the road. I want it to be the tournament. I wanted to fight two more fights on one night. I love that. I love that setup. But we'll have to wait and see because Ori Gele is now matched up with Jerome Lebanner.
Jerome Lebanner, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a strange one. I was a bit frustrated to see that because obviously Ori Gele is in the tournament. That tells me maybe the tournament won't happen now. To me, that's just. But maybe it will. But if not, I just want to get out the road as soon as possible. Maybe in the summer, and fight any of the guys from the tournament or fight someone else, and just get back out there and just continue my legacy because I've got a great sort of history and legacy of fighting in Asia, and I want that to continue.
Well, the prospect of a one night, 2-fight finals, that would be crazy. That would be great for, all the fighters involved in the tournament. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it happens by the end of the year, maybe in December or something. Would be amazing. It's always good talking to you, and good luck on your fights, man.
Thank you, sir. Good talking to you.